And that was a song called The Willow by three artists. One of them, Russell Morris, who you would probably very familiar with that voice. The other two voices, maybe not so much. They are a Melbourne duo called Patsy and Dave. And you'll never guess who's on the phone. Patsy and Dave. Hello, Patsy. Hello, Dave.
Hello, Neil.
G'day, Neil. How you going?
Good, thanks, team. Thanks for joining us on Monday Night Live. We are very pleased to be able to chat to you. Let's talk a little bit about that song that we've just heard with Russell. The Willow it is called. Give us some background on A, the song, and B, how you came to record it with someone as well known as Russell.
Well, there's a little bit of a story behind that, Neil. Look, it was an idea I had. It was a reflection of a tree that we had in my grandparents' backyard growing up, and us as kids would play under there. We were just drawn to it. It was just like a magical thing. So that's where the sort of concept came for the whole song. And then, of course, Russell had previously listened to one of our earlier albums and fell in love with a song called Cowboy Lonesome. So he was very, very open to writing a couple of songs with us, and The Willow was one of them. So, that's how it all kind of started.
Yeah, and so the Willow has more. I mean, it's more about, it's a bit sort of conservation. It's about change. It's about, how, urbanisation destroys certain things. This tree is still there, but the old house is not. But, so it's obviously got a few more features in it than just about the willow. But it's a beautiful, we love it because of Russell. He involved himself in the song, and he gave us some incredible tips, and we wrote it together, and it was just quite extraordinary, really.
And I'm thrilled to see that you're giving some of these young artists coming through a bit of a leg up, because obviously Russell has quite new to the industry, and great to see you guys giving him a crack.
Yeah, it was quite amazing actually, and you never really. I mean, I think the blend, recording with Russell was great. We never know how the vocal blend's going to go, and it worked really, really well. But he did really bring some, a wealth of knowledge. All of his years in the business really shone through with writing that song with him. That's for sure. He brought some very great ideas to the table.
Yeah, and it's just like, apart from the fact that Russell's involved and you guys, and it's just a beautiful song with a beautiful sentiment in my mind. So well done, you guys.
Well, thank you.
Thanks, Neil. Thank you.
I've got a little surprise for you. Guess who's on the line?
What?
Hey there, this is Russell Morris, and you're listening to Monday Night Live on 94.1 FM, 3WBC. Have a great night.
There he was. Russell Morris has been on the line as well. So, hey, the gang's all here. Well done, you guys.
Wow.
And thanks, Russell, for recording that for us. Now, tell us a bit of background about Patsy and Dave. Obviously, you've been going for a little while.
Yes, I keep saying 10 years, Neil, but I think we're about 17. We're sort of heading to the northern end, nearly 20.
Yeah.
And we've been, we initially met, obviously, that many years ago when I was the chair or president of a little club down in Williamstown, and Dave had come along to sing in between breaks. And there was an Irish band, I think, playing at the time, and I came in because I was so drawn to David's voice, and I couldn't believe, that there he was sitting up there on this sort of chair with his eyes closed, singing quite nervously, and I just felt at that time that our voices somehow there was some sort of similarity there, that we would blend very well together. And I then approached Dave, didn't I, Dave, and asked if we could do a duet together.
Yeah, well, I think it was my second public performance, and I was nervous enough, let alone, Patsy coming and asking if I wanted to do a duet with her. So I said, I didn't know what to say. I said, can I think about it? I didn't say yes straight away, but she kept pursuing me. So eventually I gave in, and it turned out that she was right. We did have a very good vocal blend together.
Now, I think if you go and look at your website, you haven't always been, well, you have always been Patsy and Dave, but you haven't always been Patsy and Dave.
No, that's
No.
true. We were the long and short of it for quite some years, actually, not until fairly recently, a couple of years ago, we decided to rebrand because, the feeling was that, well, there were two reasons. There was a band in LA that's a heavy metal, punk, rocky, full of
very similar to you
obscenities.
guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
And it was only when people started to sort of question our music and said, I never thought that we'd hear that word coming out of your mouth, that we, in song, that we, the F word, that we realised, and we looked and checked, and of course there was the other band all over our social media in terms of Spotify and Apple Music and everything. It was still all blended, you see. So it was too hard to remove. But then, of course, we discovered that a lot of people had difficulty finding us anyway because our name was the long and short of it, and they'd sort of put in long duo or tall and short or something, and they'd have trouble finding us on the social media platform. So it was easier. Everyone now knows us by our name, so we figured Patsy and Dave it is.
So where did the name come from, Patsy and Dave? Was it hard to come up with as a name?
It was. We thought it was. It was actually. We had to think long and hard about that. And
Dave wanted to go first.
Yeah, I can imagine, Dave. I know why you're Patsy and Dave and not Dave and Patsy.
Yeah, well, it should have been Dave and Patsy, I reckon.
Alphabetically, of course. Now,
alphabetically, yes, yeah.
Another artist who is reasonably well known, who obviously thinks your voice blends well together, is a chap called James Blundell, who everyone knows is a very fine Australian country singer. You've done a bit of work with him as well.
Just recently recorded a couple of songs with James. We wrote a song After the Storm with him, which is about, community spirit after natural disaster, people coming together to help each other and getting through and coming out the other end and, surviving the devastation. And he brought a lot of great ideas to the table with that song. I mean, he's a farmer himself. He lives on a huge property in Stanthorpe, in Queensland. And, so it was great catching up with him. It was a little bit difficult from time to time because he's just so busy all the time. He's running a farm, he's, reinvigorating his music career and all that sort of stuff. But no, it was great to work with him. And then again, I never thought that I'd have the opportunity to work with someone like James ever.
Yeah, and look at the lineup you've worked with: Russell Morris, James Blundell, Neil Butler. It falls away badly at the end, doesn't it? Well, look, I tell you what, that song After the Storm, instead of just talking about it, let's hear that song. This is Patsy and Dave along with James Blundell with After the Storm. And that is a song called After the Storm by Patsy and Dave and James Blundell. I'm talking to Patsy and Dave as we speak. You'll be able to guess which one is who by the voices, I suspect. Patsy and Dave, that song, I believe, has won an award.
It certainly did. We were so surprised. We were in Tamworth and we were asked to come and perform one song, and it happened to be that song at the Capital Country Music Association's annual event, which was in the town hall at Tamworth. And it was a fascinating thing because we should have known a lot more about Capital Country, but they were the originators really of the Golden Guitar Festival, and they've been around for, many, many years, I think 36 or 66 years or something. I think it's 66
That's
years.
That's a long
anyway,
time.
A long time. So they called us on, and little did we know, but at the same time that we were asked to sing, we were also presented with the award for Song of the Year. So it just blew us away. James, I've never seen anyone so excited. We were so excited. It was just extraordinary, but completely unexpected.
It sort of, topped off the festival. We left the festival on a real big high. Even, the show we did with James went really, really well. It was well received as well. But to win, a great award like that was, just really surprised us, and we still have a big smile on our face and still talking about it now. So it's amazing.
And is that considered a golden guitar, or is that a different award?
No, it's a different award. It's the organisation sort of kicked off the whole concept of the golden guitars many moons ago, 50-something years ago, and that award is from that particular organisation that still coexists with the CMAA, which is the organisation that does the golden guitars. So it's very, very exciting to get it.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. So you are based in Melbourne, which is an unusual place for a country duo to live, I suspect. But are you performing around Melbourne, or are you still mainly doing studio stuff?
Both, actually. We're in the process of writing at the moment, and we've just penned a couple of songs with some other luminaries as well, and we're in the process of preparing our next album, which we hope to have completed before September. And then we're also performing regionally. We're doing quite a few shows around Victoria regionally. We were just up in Ballarat last week. We're heading to, I can't even think of the town centres that we're going to, but we're doing a fair bit locally. And then we're going, in September, we're heading up northern New South Wales to Shoalhaven to do the Words and Music show that we did in Tamworth with James up there. Nice. And we're tag teaming with James in the early part of next year. We're hoping to do some shows in New Zealand. It's being organised at the moment, and we're also hoping to get down to Tassie because we love Tasmania.
Nice.
At the end of the year as well.
Well, in signing off from you at this conversation, there is a new single out. It's only been out a week or two. Tell us a bit about the song, Dave.
Yeah, so it's a song called "I'm Suddenly Old," and it was how that came about is I came into our little studio in Melbourne. They're a little venue. We've got a little live music venue there called Mantra, and I was just having a conversation with Patsy, saying, "Geez, I just can't believe where all the years have gone." I'm in my late 50s, and I'm feeling like I'm suddenly I don't know where the time's gone. It seems this yesterday since I turned 18, got my driver's license, had my 21st birthday party, and then what's happened? And I said, I'm suddenly feeling old, and she said, well, why don't we write a song about it?
It's got a country and western kind of feel to it, doesn't it? My girlfriend left me and I lost my car.
I'm suddenly old.
And we thought, well, let's make it like, a little bit lighthearted, but have a positive message. It's about embracing the journey. It's not about, being miserable about getting old or anything like that. It's more the journey and sort of saying, well, I've lived a good life,
absolutely.
And most people that listen to the song, they end up, if they don't have a smile on their face by the end of it, I think there's something wrong with them.
Yeah, I agree. I think it sounds a bit like Patsy and Dave meet the Wiggles. It's it's got a very interesting kind of. Well, Dave wrote the music, so he can be blamed for that. But
or credited, as the case may be.
Lighthearted.
James and us, we love the. James especially loves the Seekers. So he said, "Can we put like a Seekers kind of, feel to it with all the freeway harmonies and all that?" So that's what we did, and. No, look, it's going really well. We're so proud about how it's been received.
Excellent. All right, well, we're going to hear that song, but before we do, a quick moment to say thank you to the both of you for joining us tonight on Monday Night Live. The website, unsurprisingly, is patsyanddave.com.au. Go and have a look at that. You get to see how handsome Dave is and how pretty Patsy is just by looking at the front. That's what pops up in front of you. You got the two of you just looking at them right there as I speak.
True.
So thanks for joining us. And here is the song, I'm Suddenly Old.